Lone Star Community Radio presents the Lone Star Radio Hour. For the next hour, you will hear locally produced radio plays from different groups around Montgomery County. If you're interested in the Lone Star Radio Hour and you want us to run one of your programs that you produced, just contact us at lscrstudios at gmail.com. If you are interested in recording your own show here at the studio, you can just contact us. And we're also looking for sponsorships for this time slot. So, again, just contact us at lscrstudios at gmail.com. You can also visit the Lone Star Radio Hour online at irlonestar.com/LSRH. That's irlonestar.com/LSRH. For all the plays on on-demand format. The following radio play you're about to hear is produced by the Players Theater Company in Conroe, Texas. For more information on the Players, check them out online at www.owentheater.com/players.
Live from the Owen Theater, located in the glittering arts and entertainment district in downtown Conroe, Texas, comes the Crichton Players Vintage Radio Theater. This is your host, Dennis Nelson. Tonight, we present a cherished Christmas classic, none other than radio's adaptation of It's a Wonderful Life. We have no time to waste tonight in putting on this holiday tale, so I'll go right into introducing our talented cast of new and familiar players. Starring tonight as George Bailey is our own Landon Edwards. The delightful Sarah Turner appears as Clara Oddbody. The erudite Joff Evans as Joseph. Radiant Carol Halley as Mary. The versatile Dale Trimble as Pop, as Dr. Campbell, as Randall, as Martini, and as Nick. Stellar Taylor Leader as Janie. Tonight's episode is truly a family affair, with the young John Wallace Barton as young George Bailey and as Pete. Playing alongside his father, John Barton, as Ernie and Ed. With sister Cordelia Barton as Zuzu. The talented Quint Bishop joins us as Uncle Billy and Pinky. And it's a wonderful Brooke Elizabeth as Cousin Tilly. I'm sorry, folks, I had to work in a little reference to the play tonight. Sorry, I just couldn't help it. The fantastic Lee Pushing joins us tonight as Sam and Bert. Daughter and mother team Catherine Graham and Kim Wood Graham are featured as Mrs. Hatch and Mrs. Paley, respectively. Masterful Ken Mann as Mr. Gower, Tom, and the Bridge Keeper. With magnificent Matthew Perez as Harry, Horace, and Mr. Welch. And last but certainly never least, yours truly, Dennis Nelson, as Mr. Potter and Mr. Carter. Now sit back, relax, come with us to the idyllic town of Bedford Falls on Christmas of 1946.
This is the story of George Bailey, citizen of Bedford Falls, New York. George Bailey, who more than anything under the sun wanted to see the world, the wonderful and exciting world that lay somewhere beyond the limits of his hometown. Oddly enough, this story does not begin in Bedford Falls. In fact, it does not begin anywhere in the world. It begins in heaven, where the superintendent of angels has just summoned an apprentice angel named Clara.
Oh, I'm really going down to Earth, sir? succeeded.
Yes, there's a very discouraged man down there, Clara. George Bailey. At exactly 10:45 p.m. Earth time, he'll be thinking seriously of ending his life.
Oh dear, dear. His life?
Now, I want you to stop him if you can. Now sit down, sit down. I'll give you Bailey's case history.
Sir, if I should accomplish my mission, may I perhaps get my wings? I've been waiting over 200 years now, and well, people are beginning to talk.
Clara, what's that book?
Oh, it's The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, sir. I was reading it when you sent for me.
Oh, fine book. Excellent. Well, you do a good job on George Bailey, and we'll see about your wings.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Now listen. When George Bailey was a boy, two events that occurred that you should keep in mind. One was when his young brother Harry fell through the ice and almost drowned. George saved him.
Brother fell through the ice. George saved him.
Yes, ever since, George has had a bad ear. All that icy water. You understand?
Bad ear. Yes, sir.
The other event came a few months later. George used to work after school in Mr. Gower's drugstore. One day, Mr. Gower's only son died of influenza. It was a terrible blow, and poor Mr. Gower tried to lose his grief in whiskey.
Where you been, George? Mrs. Blades called twice. What happened to her prescription? You lost it, did you?
No, Mr. Gower, here it is.
Why, you're good for nothing. Do you know how sick the girl's been?
Mr. Gower, my ear! You're hurting my sore ear.
I'll teach you to loaf, you lazy brat.
Mr. Gower, you don't know what you're doing. You put something wrong in those capsules.
Shut up.
I know you feel bad, but look, Mr. Gower, look. This bottle. You used this bottle to make up the capsules. It's poison.
Poison?
Don't hurt my sore ear again, Mr. Gower.
Poison? Oh, George.
It's why I didn't deliver, Mr. Gower. All I wanted was to make sure.
Oh, George. George.
Well, Clara, that was George Bailey as a boy. When he grew up, he wanted to go to college, but there just wasn't the money. So he worked 4 years in the Building and Loan Association.
Loan Association?
Oh, I forgot to tell you. George's father was in the building and loan business. He and George's Uncle Billy. High ideals and low bank account. Anyway, George worked for his father and saved enough to see him through university. That summer, though, he was going to Europe. Got a job on a boat to do a little traveling before college.
Boy, oh boy, it's hard to realize it's my last night at the Bailey boarding house.
We're sure gonna miss you, George.
Oh, I'm gonna miss you too, Pop. Hey, what's the matter? You look tired.
Oh, I had another tussle with old Henry Potter today.
Oh, I thought when you put him on the board of directors, he'd ease up.
So did I.
I just can't understand a man like Mr. Potter. He can't begin to spend all the money he has.
I guess Potter owns everything he wants in Bedford Falls, except our building and loan. That's why he hates us.
Hey, George, can I borrow your old tuxedo studs?
Oh, yeah, help yourself, Harry.
Well, where are they? In your suitcase?
Oh, I'm not taking a tuxedo on a cattle boat, you know.
Say, where'd you get that suitcase anyway?
Mr. Gower, going away present. One of these days you're gonna see that bag all covered in travel labels. Italy and Baghdad and Samarkand.
Gotta have a pretty full summer, huh?
I'm gonna have a pretty full life.
Hey, why don't you come to the dance tonight?
What, and be bored to death?
Well, you couldn't want a better death. Lots of pretty girls. Hey, I gotta hurry.
I wish we could send Harry to college with you.
Oh, we got all that figured out already now, Pop. He'll take my job at the building and loan, work 4 years like I did, and then he'll go.
He's pretty young for that job.
Well, no younger than I was.
Well, maybe you were born older, George.
Huh?
George, when you get out of college, I don't suppose you'd come back to the building and loan.
Oh, no, Pop. I just couldn't. I couldn't face being cooped up for the rest of my life in a shabby little office. I'm sorry, Pop. I didn't mean that. It's just this business of nickels and dimes. I go crazy. I want to do something big, something important.
In a small way, we are doing something important, George. In that shabby little office, we help people figure out how they can own their own homes.
I know, Pop, I know. I wish I felt that, but I feel like if I didn't get away, I'd bust.
You're right, boy. You get yourself an education. Then you get out of here.
Oh, gee, Pop, do you want a shock? I think you're a pretty great guy.
Well, thanks, George. I'm glad to hear it. Look, why don't you go over to Harry's dance? You'll have a good time.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I will drop in. Yeah, maybe I will at that.
So George Bailey went to a dance. Is that important, Joseph?
Why, it was at that dance that he met Mary Hatch.
Ooh.
And 3 hours later, he was walking her home. George and Mary were feeling pretty good, Clara. As a matter of fact, wonderful.
Won't you come out tonight? Come out tonight. Come out tonight. Oh, Buffalo gals, won't you come out tonight? Dance by the light of the moon.
Hot dog.
Beautiful.
Boy, just like an organ.
At least.
Oh, gee whiz. You know something? If it wasn't me talking, I'd say you're the prettiest girl in the world.
Well, why don't you just say it?
I don't know, man. Maybe I will. How old are you anyway?
18.
18?
Too young or too old?
Oh, no. Just right. It sort of fits you. Hey, look where we are.
Ah, the old Granville house.
Yeah, hang on. I gotta throw a rock.
Oh, no, don't. I love that old house.
Well, don't you know about these deserted houses? You make a wish and then you throw a rock in the window.
George, but it's such a lovely old place. I wish I lived there.
In there? I wouldn't live in it as a ghost. Now watch this. Here we go. How about it, huh? Pretty good shot, huh? Broke a window, huh?
What'd you wish for, George?
Oh, I don't know. Not just one wish, a whole hatful. Mary, I'm shaking the dust of this crummy old town off my feet, and I'm gonna see the world. Italy, Greece, the Parthenon, the Colosseum, and then I'm gonna come back here and go to college and see what they know. And then I'm gonna build things. I'm gonna build airfields and skyscrapers and 100 stories high, and bridges a mile long, and then I'm. Hey, Mary, what is it you want, huh? What do you want? You want the moon? Want the moon? All you gotta do is just say the word, and I'll.
Okay, the moon. I'll take it. Then what?
Then what? Well, then you could swallow it, and it dissolves like aspirin, you know. And the moonbeams would shoot out your fingers and the ends of your hair. And you think I'm talking too much?
Yes! Why don't you kiss her instead of talking her to death?
How's that?
No, you just wasted on the wrong people.
Hey, just a minute, mister. Hey, you come on back here and I'll show you some kissing that'll...
Hey, George!
Hey, Uncle Billy, hey, look here. I'm gonna kiss Mary. Watch.
George, get in the car, quick. Your father had a stroke.
What?
George, hurry.
Well, George's father died that night, Clara. So, of course, George couldn't go to Europe. But that fall, just as he was ready to leave for college, the directors of the building and loan had a meeting. They were going to appoint a successor to Mr. Bailey.
A successor to our dear friend, Peter Bailey. What was that you said, Mr. Potter?
I was saying that as long as Peter Bailey's dead, let's dissolve the building and loan. We don't need it.
Now, wait a minute.
Oh, you wait a minute. Peter Bailey was not a businessman. Ideals, no common sense. You can't run a town like that. What do we get? A discontented, lazy rabble instead of a thrifty working class.
Now, hold on, Mr. Potter.
I mean no disrespect, George.
No, wait a minute there. Why my father ever started this cheap penny-ante building and loan, I'll never know. But just remember this, Mr. Potter, that this rabble you're talking about, they do most of the working and praying and paying and living and dying in this community. And, well, is it too much to have them work and pay and live and die in a couple of decent rooms and a bath? Anyway, my father didn't think so. People were human beings to him. But to you, a warped, frustrated old man, they're cattle. Well, in my book, he died a much richer man than you'll ever be.
I'm not interested in your so-called book. I'm talking about the building and loan.
You're talking about something you can't get your fingers on and it's gone. That's what you're talking about. Well, this town needs this measly one-horse institution, if only to have some place where people can borrow dollars without crawling to you. Now, come on, Uncle Billy.
What happened, George?
Yeah, we all heard a lot of yelling.
Boy, oh boy, you should have heard George.
Yeah, they're in there voting us out of business.
Who cares? I can get another job. I'm only 41.
45.
Will you get out of here, George? You missed your boat trip. You want to miss college, too?
George, we just voted Potter down. We're still in business.
Whoopee! We're still in business. We're still in business.
But there's one condition, George. They've appointed you to take your father's place.
What? Appoint me? But I'm going to college. Look, this is my last chance. Like, Uncle Billy, he's your man.
George, you've got to take it. They'll vote with Potter otherwise. They said so. They even...
I know. George Bailey didn't go to college.
That's right, Clara. He gave his college money to Harry. Harry went instead.
Yes, but what happened to that good-looking girl? You know, Mary.
Oh, George saw her now and then. But not very often, though, because Mary went away to school, too. Anyway, George waited 4 years more for Harry to come back and take over the building and loan. He could still see the world. He planned to work in the oil fields, Venezuela. Except when Harry came home, he wasn't alone. There was a girl with him, his wife.
George!
Yeah, I'm out here on the porch, Mother. I just thought I'd get some air.
Well, how do you like your new sister-in-law?
Oh, she's swell.
Looks like she can keep Harry on his toes.
Yeah, keep him out of Bedford Falls anyway.
What do you mean?
Well, Ruth's father, he got a wonderful job for Harry up in Buffalo.
Buffalo?
Yeah.
Well, that means you can't...
Yeah.
George, did you know that Mary Hatch is back from school?
Hmm? Yeah.
Nice girl, Mary.
Yeah.
Oh, stop grunting.
Oh.
Give me one good reason why you shouldn't call on Mary.
Well, Sam Wainwright. Sam's crazy about her.
Well, she's not crazy about him.
Well, now, how do you know that? Did she discuss it with you?
Besides, Sam is away in New York.
And all's fair in love and war. Oh, all right, I see. Okay, Mother, I think I'll go out and find that girl and do a little passionate necking.
Oh, George.
Goodbye, Mrs. Bailey. By the way, do you want any books from the library?
Library? George, you go and see Mary. Do you hear me?
George, is that you out there?
Hello, Mary.
Well, are you coming in?
I just happened to be passing by.
Oh, I thought you were picketing. Have you made up your mind?
How's that?
Have you made up your mind?
About what?
Coming in. Your mother phoned. She said you were coming over.
My mother just... I just happened to be passing by, that's all.
Well?
Well, all right, I'll come in for a minute. I didn't tell anybody I was coming over here. I felt I can't even go for a walk without... Hey, Mary, when did you get back?
Tuesday.
Where'd you get that dress?
Do you like it?
It's all right.
Well, no point standing here on the porch. Come on in.
I still can't understand it. I didn't tell anybody I was coming here.
Would you rather leave?
No, I don't want to be rude. I'll sit down for a while.
It's nice about your brother and Ruth, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, that's all right.
Don't you like her?
Well, of course I like her. She's a peach.
Oh, it's just marriage in general you're not enthusiastic about, huh?
No. Marriage is all right for a lot of people. It's all right for Harry and Sam Wainwright and you.
For Sam. Mary! It's George Bailey, Mother.
What's he want?
I don't know. What do you want?
Me? Not a thing. I just came in to get warm.
He's making violent love to me, Mother.
You tell him to go right back home. Sam said he'd call you tonight from New York, didn't he?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess so. How about some music?
Now, you know, your mother needn't... I didn't come here to...
What did you come here for?
I don't know. You're supposed to be the one that has all the answers. You tell me.
Oh, why don't you go home?
I don't know why I came here in the first place. Good night.
Good night.
Mary! The telephone! Mary!
Well, you're shouting. You think that...
You think what?
Mary!
It's all right, I'll get it. George, on your way out, would you mind shutting off the phonograph?
I'd be very happy to. Gone crazy song.
Hello, Sam?
Mary, gee, it's good to hear your voice.
How are you, Sam?
I forgot my hat.
Hee-haw!
What?
Well, I was just talking to an old friend of yours, George Bailey.
Old Mossback George?
Old Mossback George.
Well, put him on. I'll talk to him too.
Wait a second. George?
He doesn't want to speak to George.
He does so. He asked for him.
Did you call me? Because if you did, I'm in a hurry.
Sam wants to talk to you.
Oh. Hi, Sam.
Hey, a fine pal you are. Trying to steal my girl?
What do you mean? Nobody's trying to steal anybody's girl. Here, Mary, take the phone.
No, wait, George. I want to speak to you both. Tell Mary to get on the extension upstairs.
He says to get on the extension upstairs.
I can't. Mother's on the extension.
I am not.
We can both hear. Just put your head a little closer.
Huh?
There, that's better.
Okay.
We're listening, Sam.
Well, I have a big deal coming up that's going to make us all rich. George, remember that time you told me about making plastics out of soybeans?
Soybeans, yeah. Soybeans, yeah.
Well, my father's checked into it, see? And now he's going to put up a factory. How do you like that?
Factory, huh?
And here's the point, George. May have a job for you, unless you're still married to that broken down building and loan. Mary?
No, I'm here.
You tell that guy I'm giving him the chance of a lifetime, you hear?
He says it's the chance of a lifetime.
No, you give me that phone.
Here's George again, Sam. George!
No, you listen to me, Mary. I don't want any plastics, and I don't want any job, and I don't want to get married ever to anyone. You understand that? I want to do what I want to do. And you're not going to trick me. And you're... Mary. Mary. Oh, Mary, darling, I love you, Mary.
Well, so George Bailey and Mary Hatch were...
Yes, George and Mary were married, and they started off on their honeymoon in Ernie Bishop's taxi cab.
Hey, where are you two going on this here now honeymoon?
Oh, we're going to shoot the works, Ernie. A whole week in New York, a whole week in Bermuda, the highest hotel, the oldest champagne, the hottest music, and the prettiest wife.
So you're finally getting out of Bedford Falls, eh? Then what?
Then what, honey?
Oh, after that, who cares?
That does it. Hey, you know, Mrs. Bailey, I haven't kissed you yet.
Hey, George, there's something funny going on over there. Look over there. At the bank, it looks like a run.
Pull over there a minute, will you, Ernie?
George, let's not stop. Please, let's go straight to the station.
No, wait a minute. I better see what this is. I'll be right back.
George, please. George.
Of It's a Wonderful Life.
Brochure.
Is that the Crichton Players season lineup?
Indeed it is. Rats!
What?
We just missed Moon over Buffalo.
Well, tell me what's coming up for the rest of the season.
Let's see. Meet Me in St. Louis is now open, just in time for the holidays.
Oh, let me see that. Oh, wow. This New Year's Eve features a special Dancing in the Streets gala with Brown and Swerve. Wow! 2016 also brings us the hilarious Murder at Howard Johnson's, as well as William Shakespeare's timeless tale, Romeo and Juliet, the unparalleled smash musical Chicago, and the riveting Agatha Christie classic, The Mousetrap.
For more information on discount season tickets, go to owentheatre.com. That's OwenTheatre.com.
I can't wait to see what they do for next season.
You'll hear about that in a few minutes.
Be sure to join us as the hits keep on coming at the Owen Theatre.
We're back in heaven again, where the superintendent of angels is reviewing the case history of a mortal named George Bailey. Clara, the apprentice angel, is very eager to depart on her mission to Earth.
Poor George Bailey. He's certainly in desperate trouble, Joseph. I'll go to him at once.
Now, you sit down, Clara. Sit down. We're nowhere near the point where George Bailey is thinking of taking his life.
Oh, we're not?
Now, where were we? Oh, yes. George and Mary had just started out on their honeymoon when they ran smack into the financial panic of 1932. In the waiting room of the building and loan, 100 frantic people were clamoring for their savings.
Hey, now, what's going on, Uncle Billy? What happened? All those people out there.
This is a pickle, George. All I know is the bank called our loan an hour ago. I had to hand over all our cash.
Holy mackerel.
The whole town's gone crazy. The bank is in the same spot we are.
Our charter, too.
What about our charter?
Our charter says we have to stay open till 6 p.m. The state can take away our license if we don't.
Well, how can we stay open till 6 without any money? George, where are you going?
Out to talk to those people. Come on.
Hey, we need our money. Come on now.
Now, listen, folks. Just a minute, please.
What about our money, George? Where's our money?
Now, wait a minute. Now, listen to me. You're thinking of this place all wrong. Your money's not here. Your money's in people's houses. It's in the Kennedy house and the McLaren house and your house and 100 others. Now, what are you going to do? Foreclose on them?
I got $240 in shares. Now let me have it.
All right, Tom. Now, you'll get your money in 60 days.
60 days?
Now, look, that's what you agreed on when you bought the shares.
I got my money. Old man Potter's taking over the bank. He'll pay you 50 cents on every dollar.
50 cents? Let's take our shares to Potter. Half is better than nothing.
Now, wait a minute, please, folks. I beg of you not to do this. If Potter gets a hold of your shares, he'll be owning the building and loan. He's got the bank, he's got the bus line, he's got the department stores, and now he's after us because he wants to keep you living in his shacks and paying the kind of rent he decides to charge. Now we can get through this thing, all right, but we gotta stick together. We gotta have faith in each other.
My husband's out of work. We need the money.
I've got doctor bills to pay.
I can't feed my kids on faith.
Yeah.
Come on now. How much do you need? We still got some money.
Hey, Mary.
Here it is, George. You told me to hold on to it. Would have made a nice honeymoon. Bought furniture, too.
Hey, wait a minute, folks. Listen, I got $2,000 here. All right, Tom, how much do you need?
$240.
No, Tom, here's enough just to tide you over.
I said $240.
Okay. Uncle Billy, give Tom $240. All right, Ed, how much do you need to get by?
$20, I suppose.
Now you're talking. All right, Mrs. Thompson, how about you?
$20 should do me.
All right, good. $20. All right, Uncle Billy, I'll pay it back when you can now. All right, who's next?
Look at the clock. Look.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 6 o'clock. We've made it. Lock that door, Eustace. Quick, boy, we're still in business. Uncle Billy, look, we even got $2 left.
George, there's a call for you.
All right, then call my wife, will you? She's probably over at her mother's.
Mrs. Bailey's on the line.
I don't want Mrs. Bailey. I want my wife. That is my wife. Give me the phone, will you? Hey, Mary? Listen, I'm sorry. I come home. What home? But 323 Sycamore. Well, whose home is that? What? Well, Mary, how can I? Well, sure, I'll be there.
Clara, guess what 323 Sycamore was?
His mother-in-law's house?
Oh, no. Number 323 Sycamore was the old Granville house. The one George threw rocks at and made wishes. Yes, sir, that's where they spent their honeymoon. That's where they started housekeeping. They were still living there 2 years later when old man Potter asked George to stop over at his office.
Oh, sit down, George. Sit down. Have a cigar.
Oh, thank you, sir.
George, you're a young man, married, making $40 a week at the building and loan.
45.
Yeah, 45. Now, if you were an ordinary yokel, I'd say you were doing fine. But George Bailey is intelligent. He's ambitious. He hates the building and loan almost as much as I do. He's been dying to get out of town ever since he was born. But he's trapped. He's trapped into fritting away his life playing nursemaid with a lot of garlic eaters. Do I paint a correct picture, George, or do I exaggerate?
Well, what's your point now, Mr. Potter?
Well, my point is, my boy, that you're the only man in town who's licked me, George. I want to hire you. Manage my affairs. I'll start you off at $20,000.
$20,000 a year? What? Are you sure you're talking to me? I'm George Bailey. Don't you remember me? The building and loan, remember?
Yes, George Bailey, whose ship has just come in, providing he has the brains enough to climb aboard.
Well, what about the building and loan?
Oh, confound it, man. I'm offering you a 3-year contract at $20,000 a year. Is it a deal or isn't it?
No. The answer's no, doggone it. If you offered me $1 million to stay around this town and play stooge to you, the answer'd still be no. Now, let me alone. Don't bother.
George, what did Mr. Potter want?
Oh, it was nothing. He just wanted to talk. Oh, gee. Mary Hatch. Why in the world did you ever want to marry a guy like me anyway?
To keep from being an old maid.
I was gonna see the world. I was gonna build things. I was gonna give you the moon. What have I given you? What have I given you? Not even a new dress, not for months. Gee whiz, I feel awful.
So do I. Mornings especially.
You could have married Sam Wainwright or anybody else in town.
I didn't want to marry anybody else in town. I want my baby to look like you.
You didn't even give him a honeymoon, and I promised you that. You're what?
My baby.
You mean, Mary, you mean you're on the nest?
Well, Mary had her baby, Clara, a boy.
You don't say.
Then she had another one, a girl.
Well, what do you know?
Night after night, George had come home late from the office. Things weren't good with the building and loan. Potter was really bearing down on him. Then came the war. Mary had another baby by then.
Ooh.
But she still had time to help out at the USO. Uncle Billy sold war bonds, and George's brother Harry became a real hero. Shot down 15 planes.
But George, what about George?
George was 4F on account of his ear. He was an air raid warden. On VE Day, he wept and prayed. On VJ Day, he wept and prayed again.
We're getting pretty close to today, aren't we, sir?
Yes, Clara. You now know almost everything you need to know about George Bailey, except what happened that he finds him down there at the moment wanting to die.
Well, sir, well?
Today's the day before Christmas, Earth time. George is pretty excited.
Hey, Tilly Eustace, look at the newspaper. Commander Harry Bailey, decorated by the president. That's my kid brother. The Congressional Medal of Honor.
Gosh, George, gosh.
What do you think about that? 15 Jap planes, and the last one he got was just about to dive into a transport loaded with soldiers. Hey, you know what that means? He saved lives, hundreds of lives. Oh, gee whiz, where's Uncle Billy?
Gone to the bank, George. He's depositing that $8,000.
Oh, good. Who's that in his office there?
It's that man again, the bank examiner.
Oh, well, good afternoon, Mr. Carter. Hey, Tilly, get the books for Mr. Carter, will you? Hey, you know, that's my brother's picture there, Mr. Carter. Shot down 15 planes, one of them.
Well, Mr. Henry F. Potter. Come to the bank to deposit some more loot. Eh?
Get out of my way, you old fool.
How do you like the news in the paper, Mr. Potter? Just can't keep those Bailey boys down, can you?
Give me that. Let me see that newspaper.
Here. Sorry I can't chat with you, old thief. Gotta make a deposit. Here we are. Horace, deposit slip, bank book, and a very Merry Christmas to you.
And you too, Mr. Bailey. Say, you've forgotten something, haven't you?
Horace, I've been forgetting things all my life.
Well, get a wheel on, boy. Get a wheel on.
But, Mr. Bailey, where's your money?
What's that?
You want to make a deposit?
Certainly, I want to...
Well, it's customary to bring the money with you.
It's gone. Where did it go? Where did I put that money?
A terrible thing, Clara, terrible. Uncle Billy couldn't find the money because the envelope with the $8,000 was folded up in that newspaper he gave to Old Man Potter.
I just don't know what happened to the money, George. I just don't know.
$8,000, Uncle Billy. The bank examiner's here, and it's not our money. It belongs to the depositors.
George, what are we going to do? We've traced every step I took. We can't stand here in the middle of the street.
Are you sure you didn't put the envelope in your pocket?
I think so. Oh, maybe. Oh, I'm no good to you, George. I'm just no good.
Now listen to me. Think. Think, will you? Now try and think.
I can't think anymore, George. I can't. It hurts.
Where's that money, you silly old fool? You know what this means? It means bankruptcy and scandal and prison. One of us is going to jail. Well, it's not going to be me. Now get out of my way. I'm going home.
George, dear, what's wrong? You haven't said a word since you came home.
What, that banging on the piano? Does she have to keep playing the same song over and over and over again?
I have to practice for the Christmas party, Daddy.
What is it, dear? Another hectic day?
Yeah. Another red letter day for the Baileys.
Dad, the Murphys got a brand new car. You should see it.
Well, what's the matter with our car? Isn't it good enough for you?
I'm sorry, Dad. I only...
Run upstairs, Petey, and see if Zuzu's all right.
Okay, Mom.
No, what do you mean, see if Zuzu's all right? What do you mean?
Oh, she caught a little cold coming home from school. She didn't button up her coat.
Well, what is it? What do you mean, just a cold?
George, the doctor says it's nothing serious.
Was there a doctor here?
Well, I thought he might take a look at her.
It's this drafty old house. It's no wonder we don't all have pneumonia. Might as well be living in a refrigerator. Why do we have to live here in the first place and stay around this measly, crummy old town?
George, what's happened?
Everything's happened. You call us a happy family? Why do we have to have all these kids?
Daddy, how do you spell frankincense?
Oh, I don't know how you spell it. Ask your mother.
Where are you going?
Upstairs to see Zuzu.
Hello? Oh, hello, Mrs. Welch. Oh, I'm sure she'll be all right.
Who's that?
Zuzu's school teacher.
Yeah, give me the phone.
What? Oh, yes, the doctor says she'll be fine tomorrow.
Here, give me the phone.
George, please.
Mrs. Welsh? This is Mr. Bailey. Say, what kind of teacher are you anyway? What do you mean sending Zuzu home like that half naked? Do you realize she'll probably end up with pneumonia because of your stupidity? Now, you know, maybe my kids aren't the best dressed kids in town, but at least... Hello? Jenny, will you stop playing that lousy piano? Now cut it out! Stop it!
George, for heaven's sakes, what's wrong with you?
I'm sorry, Mary. Janie, I'm sorry. I've just got to get out of here.
Oh, that's it, George. You're short about $8,000 in your accounts, eh?
Please, Mr. Potter, I'll pay any sort of a bonus if you still want the building and loan. Why?
Oh, you say it was lost. Have you notified the police?
No, sir, I haven't done that yet. Harry's homecoming tomorrow.
Why come to me? What about your good friend Sam Wainwright?
I can't get a hold of him. He's in Europe.
What kind of security would I have, George? What's your collateral?
Yes, sir. I have some life insurance here. $15,000 policy.
What's your equity in it?
$500.
You want $8,000? You once called me a warped, frustrated old man. Well, what are you but a warped, frustrated young man crawling on your hands and knees for help? Why don't you go off to the riffraff that you love so well? Ask them for some help.
I'll do anything, Mr. Potter. Please help me, my wife and kids.
I'm calling the district attorney. $500. You know something, George? You're worth more than dead than you are alive. Now get out of here! Get out!
And all the time, Potter had the $8,000 in his desk drawer. It's still there, Clara.
But where is George, sir? Where?
Well, he went over to Martini's Cafe. He's had a couple of drinks, Clara. He's just standing there, sort of in a daze.
God. God, dear Father in heaven, I know I'm not a praying man, but if you're out there and you can hear me, show me the way. I'm at the end of my rope. Show me the way, God.
Mr. Bailey, are you all right? Don't drink anymore, Mr. Bailey, please. You don't feel good.
Bailey. You say Bailey? Which Bailey?
This gentleman is Mr. Bailey, George Bailey.
George Bailey, huh? And the next time you talk to my wife like that, you'll get worse. It isn't enough she's slaves teaching your stupid kids how to read and write. You gotta bawl her out.
You get out of here, Mr. Welch! You hit on my best friend, so get out of here!
All right, I'm going.
Mr. Bailey, you okay?
What was that?
Mr. Welch, but don't you worry. He don't come in this place no more. I get something for your face. Is a bleeding.
No, I'm all right.
No, please don't go, Mr. Bailey.
Leave me alone.
No, please don't go this way, Mr. Bailey.
I said leave me alone.
Well, George left Martini's Cafe 5 minutes ago, Clara. He's at the river now, on the bridge, looking at the water. Are you ready, Clara?
All ready, sir.
Very well. Save George Bailey's life, and you'll get your wings.
My wings? Oh, thank you, Joseph. George Bailey! Get away from that bridge, do you hear me? George!
In just a moment, we'll bring you Act 3 of It's a Wonderful Life.
Hey, you promised to tell me what's happening on stage with the Crichton Players for next year.
Oh, I don't think you're ready.
Ready for what? Adventure? Laughter? Romance?
All of those things and more. Check it out. The season kicks off in August 2016 with the haunting musical Phantom.
They follow with the Tony Award-winning comedy, The 39 Steps, and then Disney's Little Mermaid.
A comedy, The Cemetery Club, leads right into the swashbuckling Three Musketeers, not to mention the excellent tragic musical West Side Story.
And if that weren't all enough, the season finishes off with the hilarious musical 9 to 5.
Hey, I could get used to this non-stop hit show thing.
The Owen Theater is the place to be for your entertainment fix in Conroe.
Be sure to join us as the hits keep coming.
Act 3 of It's a Wonderful Life. Numb with despair, convinced, as Mr. Potter said, that he was worth more dead than alive, George Bailey stands on a bridge, staring at the dark and frigid waters below. Suddenly, there's a splash.
Help! Help! I'm drowning! Help!
It's Clara, the apprentice angel. And there goes George in after her. Well, it's a few minutes later now, in the bridgekeeper's shack, and George and Clara are drying off.
You both sure you're all right? What a doctor?
No, I'm all right.
No, I'm fine. With this underwear, I'm sorry I didn't have time to get anything more stylish. My mother gave it to me on my last birthday. I passed away in it.
You what, lady?
Oh, I see Tom Sawyer's drying out too.
Who?
My book. I left in such a hurry that I brought Tom Sawyer with me.
How'd you happen to fall in?
Oh, I jumped in. I jumped in to save you.
Jumped in to save me.
Well, I did, didn't I? You didn't go through with it, did you?
Go through with what?
Suicide?
Hey, it's against the law to commit suicide around here.
It's against the law where I come from, too.
Where do you come from?
Heaven.
Oh, that's funny. That's very funny.
Oh, no, your lip's bleeding.
Yeah, I got a bust in the jaw in answer to a prayer.
No, George. I'm the answer to your prayer.
Hey, how do you know my name?
Oh, I know all about you.
Who are you supposed to be anyway?
Clara Oddbody, AS2.
Oddbody, what's the AS2 for?
Angel. Second class.
Hey, I'm getting out of here. You may not need a doctor, but I do.
Cheerio, my good man.
Yeah, look here, why'd you want to save me?
Because I'm your guardian angel, George.
Oh, I see. You look about the kind of angel I get. What happened to your wings?
I haven't won my wings yet. That's why I'm an angel second class.
Oh, I see.
But you can help me earn them, George, by letting me help you.
Oh, yeah. You don't happen to have $8,000 on you, do you?
No, we don't use money in heaven.
Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting. Comes in pretty handy down here, huh?
Tut, tut, tut.
Of course, I found that out a little late. You know, I'm worth more dead than alive.
You mustn't talk like that. Joseph will never give me my wings if you keep feeling that way. You just don't understand what you've done for people. Why, if it hadn't been for you, then...
Yeah, if it hadn't been for me, everybody'd be better off. My wife and my kids and my friends.
This isn't gonna be easy.
They'd all have been better off if I hadn't been born.
What'd you say?
I said I wish I'd never been born.
Oh, George, that's wonderful.
What?
Well, the idea you gave me. You've got your wish. You've never been born.
I've never been born.
Exactly. No worries, no $8,000 to get, nothing. You simply don't exist.
All right. Oh, okay. All right.
George, I can do things. Strange things. I can show you the world, George, the way it would be if you had never been born.
Hey, wait a minute. This ear of mine. Say something else in that bad ear.
You don't have a bad ear anymore. I don't think you're concentrating. Don't you see? You're not the George Bailey you think you are. You're nobody.
Well, that's the doggonest thing, that ear.
Your lips stopped bleeding too, George.
Yeah, look at that. Say, what's happening around here? What is this anyway? I need a drink. That's what I need. What about you, Angel? You want a drink?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Come on. We'll go as soon as our clothes dry.
Our clothes are dry, George.
Hey, so they are. That's funny. Well, look. Let's get dressed and we'll stroll over to Martini's and excuse me. I'll stroll. You fly.
No, I don't have my wings.
Oh yeah, you don't have your wings. That's right. I forgot that again. A couple of drinks and we'll both fly.
What do you have, fellas?
Hey, where's the boss? Huh? Where's Martini?
Look, wise guy. I'm the boss, see?
Oh, okay, well, a double scotch, quick, will ya?
What's yours?
Well, I would just love some mulled wine.
Huh?
Heavy on the cinnamon, light on the cloves. Off with you now, my lad. Lively now.
Now cut it out.
Oh, come on here. Just give her the same as my order. She's okay.
2 double scotches.
Hey, what about this place? It's all changed.
Well, all of Bedford Falls has changed. You're having your wish, George. You've never been born. Oh, there are going to be lots of things you've never seen before. Oh, good! Somebody's just made it!
Made what?
Every time a bell rings, it means an angel's got his wings.
What'd you say?
Look, Clara, I don't think you'd better talk about angels around here.
Oh, don't they believe in angels?
Well, yeah, they believe in them, but, you know, it's just...
Then why should they be surprised when they see one? Hi.
Well, look, don't mind her, bartender. She's just a little gal that never grew up. How old are you anyway, Clara?
Next May, I'll be 293.
That does it. Couple of pixies, eh? Go, get out of here. Get!
Hey, look, where's Martini? Will you call him?
Stop asking about Martini. He ain't here, and he... Hey, you, Rummy. Didn't I tell you never to come panhandling around here?
George, look.
Hey, it's Mr. Gower. Hey, Mr. Gower, listen. Listen, Mr. Gower, don't you know me? Hey, this is George Bailey.
You buy me a drink, mister? Just one drink, will you, mister?
Pinky?
Yeah, Nick?
Throw the rummy out.
Oh, no, please.
Hey, bartender, that's Mr. Gower, the druggist.
That rumhead spent 20 years in jail for poisoning some kid. If you know him, you must be a jailhead yourself. Pinky, here's 2 more. Get him out of here.
Get up, George. It's a good thing you threw us into that snowbank, huh?
Where's Mr. Gower?
Well, Mr. Gower doesn't know you, George. You see, you weren't there to stop him from putting poison into that prescription.
What do you mean I wasn't there? Look, Tell me, what are you, a hypnotist?
George.
Well, why am I seeing all these strange things?
Don't you understand? It's because you've never been born.
Well, then if I wasn't born, then who am I?
Nobody. You have no identity.
What do you mean, no identity?
No papers, no cards, no driver's license, no 4F card, no insurance policy.
Zuzu's bell.
What?
Zuzu's bell. I bought my little girl a bell to hang on the Christmas tree, and I forgot to give it to her, and I got it in my... It was right here. It's gone. It's gone too. Everything's gone.
But you've been giving a great gift, George. A chance to see the world the way it would have been if you had never been born.
Oh, you're crazy. You're crazy as a bedbug, and you're driving me crazy too. Now look, I'm going home to my wife and family. Do you understand that? And I'm going home alone.
Better not leave him alone, Clara. Keep following him.
Joseph! Oh, I'll stay right near him, sir. Poor George. He's seeing Main Street now the way it would be if he hadn't lived. You know the thing that really shocked him, sir? The building and loan office. Do you know what's there now? It's a pawn shop.
What's he doing? Can you see?
He's talking to Ernie Bishop, the taxi driver. He wants to go home.
You better tag along, Clara.
Oh, I will, sir. I will.
Come on, step on it, Ernie. Get me home. I'm off my nut.
Where do you live, buddy?
Oh, doggone it, Ernie. Don't you start pulling that stuff on me. 323 Sycamore.
323 Sycamore?
Yeah, hurry up. Zuzu's sick.
Okay, buddy.
Hey, look, Ernie, I don't know what's happening. I'm going crazy or something. I got some bad liquor in me now. Now, look, tell me this now. You're Ernie Bishop, right? And you live with your wife and kid down at...
You see my wife?
Seen your wife? I've been to your house 100 times. We built it for you, didn't we?
Look, bud, my wife took the kid and ran away 5 years ago, and I ain't seen you before in my life, see?
Oh, okay, Ernie, okay. Just step on it. Get me home. Mary! Mary, where are you? Janie, Petey, Zuzu! Zuzu, where are you?
This is just an old abandoned house, George. You have no wife, no children.
Where are they? What have you done with them?
There you are, Bert. Crazy, just like I told you.
All right, up with your hands.
Oh, Bert the cop, thank heaven you're here.
Now look, why don't you be a good fellow, and I'll take you to a doctor.
Bert, now listen to me. Listen to me. What's the matter with you guys? Now listen, it's that woman there. She said she's an angel, and she tried to hypnotize me.
I hate to use my nightstick, but I guess Ow!
Run, George, run! He can't hit you while I'm biting him, grrr!
Ow!
George, run! My teeth aren't what they used to be. Joseph? Joseph, help! Joseph!
Where'd they go, Ernie? Where'd they go?
I don't know. They just disappeared. Clara?
Oh, Joseph, I'm so sorry. I hope you don't mind me calling on you like I did.
That was very irregular, Clara. You're by yourself again? Where's George?
Oh, he's at his mother's house, sir.
Well, if George hasn't been born, he has no mother.
He's being very stubborn. It's all right. He'll just have to find these things out for himself.
But his mother? That's a terribly bitter blow to a man. His own mother not knowing him?
You mean I shouldn't have let him?
I mean you'd better find him right away. Oh, and stop biting policemen, Clara.
I'm here again, George.
My mother. My own mother didn't even know me. Oh, if only Harry were here. If my brother were only back from Washington.
Your brother fell through the ice and was drowned at the age of 9.
That's a lie! He got the Congressional Medal of Honor. He saved the lives of every man on that transport.
Every man on that transport died. Strange, isn't it? Each man's life touches so many other lives. Harry wasn't there to save them because you weren't there to save Harry. Don't you see, George? You've really had a wonderful life. Don't you see what a mistake it would have been to throw it away?
Clara.
Yes?
Where's my wife? Please. Where's Mary?
I'm not supposed to tell.
Tell me where she is.
You're not gonna like it, George.
Where is she? I'll choke it out of you if I have to. Where's my wife?
The library. She works there. She was just about to lock up for the night, so I am... George? George, come back! Oh, there has to be some easier way to get my wings.
Mary!
I'm sorry, the library is closed.
Mary, it's George. Don't you know me?
No, I don't know you. Let me go.
Mary, please. Please don't do this to me. Please, Mary, help me. Mary, where's our kids? I need you, Mary. Help me, Mary.
Get away from me. Help!
Help me, Mary. Mary, I'm George!
Clara!
Oh, where is he, Joseph? Where's George? I'm afraid I lost him, sir.
You knew you shouldn't have let him try to see Mary. Now they're after him. A mob. They think he was trying to hurt her.
Joseph, I won't even get one wing, will I?
Oh, you have one more chance, Clara. Get over to the bridge by the river. I think George has about seen enough.
But the mob.
Don't worry, they've lost him too. Now hurry up.
Oh, thanks, Joseph, thank you.
Clara! Clara, where are you?
I'm here, George.
Help me, Clara. Get me back. I don't care what happens to me. Just only get me back to my wife and kids, please. I want to live again.
Oh, thank you, George. Thank you, Lord.
I want to live again. Please. Oh, God, please let me live again.
George, is that you down there, George?
Now, get out of here, Bert. Get out of here. You get any closer and I'll let you have it.
What the Sam Hill you yelling for, George?
George, but Bert, do you know me?
Know ya? Been looking all over town for you. Where you been?
Bert, I'm alive again, Bert.
You sure you're all right? Hey, your mouth's bleeding.
It is. Hey, my mouth's bleeding. Hey, look at that. Oh, Bert, look at the blood coming out of there. What'd you, Suzu's Christmas bell. Bert, I had it in my pocket. Hey, here it is. Hey, it's in my pocket. Hey, what do you know about that? Hey, Merry Christmas, Bert.
Well, Merry Christmas to you too, George. Hey, get in the car. I'll drive you home.
You will, Bert? Oh, well, do that and turn the sirens wide open, will you? Oh, hey, Merry Christmas, Bedford Falls. Merry Christmas, Old Building and Loan. Merry Christmas, Mr. Potter. Yippee! Come on. Hey, Bert, come on in with me, huh? What? Hey, what's with all these people? Well, these reporters? What? Hey, Merry Christmas, reporters. Hey, Mr. Bank Examiner, Merry Christmas.
Mr. Bailey, there's a deficit.
Oh, I know, $8,000, I'll bet, huh?
George, I've got a little paper here. I'm sorry.
Oh, and I'll bet it's a warrant for my arrest. Oh, isn't that wonderful? Hey, Merry Christmas. Hey, where's Mary? Oh, look at this wonderful old drafty house. Hey, isn't it what? Hey, have you seen my wife? Where's Mary?
Merry Christmas, Daddy. Merry
Kids! Hey, kids! Pete! Janie! Oh, I can eat you up. Hey, where's your mother?
She went looking for you, Daddy, with Uncle Billy.
Daddy!
Zuzu, my little ginger snap. Oh, how do you feel?
Fine, Daddy. Not a smidge of temperature.
Not a smidge of temp. Hallelujah!
George, darling.
It's Mommy. Mommy's home.
Mary!
George, darling, where have you been?
Oh, Mary, just let me touch you. Oh, you're real. Oh, you have no idea what's happened to me.
You have no idea what's happened either. They're on their way here.
Who's on their way? Oh, the police department, the FBI, the National Guard. I'm alive again, Mary. Oh, listen, Mary, I'm alive again.
Oh, yes, darling, yes. Now, close your eyes and come on downstairs.
Hey, what is it? Can I open my eyes yet, Mary? Oh, what's going on here?
No, keep your eyes closed. I'll just walk you over here by the Christmas tree.
There's people. I hear lots of people. Well, what is it?
Just 1 minute now. We're all ready, Uncle Billy. Come in, everybody.
Hooray! George, look. Just look.
Uncle Billy?
It's money, George. A laundry basket full of money. Money for you. Mary did it, George. Mary.
Oh, I don't understand. What money?
People heard you were in trouble, darling. These people, your friends, they've collected this money for you. $8,000.
Charlie, what? Wait. There's Mr. Martini and Mr. Gower. Hey, how are you, Mr. Gower? Mrs. Thompson, Ed, Tom, everybody.
None of us would have a roof over our heads if it wasn't for you, George. That's right, yeah.
Hey, gosh, this is wonderful. Hey, Mary, look who's coming in. Mother. Hi, Mother. Hey, and Harry.
Got Mary's telegraph, George. Flew in as fast as I could.
Hey, everybody, a toast. How about a toast?
Good idea, Ernie. A toast to my big brother, George, the richest man in town.
Hooray!
Daddy, my Christmas bell, you didn't forget.
Forget? Oh, no, I didn't forget. Here, honey, here's your bell.
Darling, darling? What's this on the table? What's this book?
Oh, that's the Adventures of Tom Sawyer.
Well, look, there's something written on it.
Dear George, remember no man is a failure who has friends. Thanks for the wings. Love, Clara.
Clara?
Yeah. She's a very dear friend of mine.
Daddy, Mrs. Welch says every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
That's right, Suzu, that's right. Atta girl, Clara. Happy landings.
Thank you so much for joining us during this heartwarming holiday episode of the Crichton Players Vintage Radio Theater, right here at the Owen. Special thanks go to director Carol Lamont and the cast and crew of Meet Me in St. Louis for letting us borrow their stage tonight. This cherished musical is now open and runs weekends through December 20th. More details on tickets for our Crichton Players season can be found at owentheater.com. Tonight's technical credits go to Dick Schistler as sound engineer, who also acted as producer for Lone Star Internet Radio. Our sound effects were performed live and from scratch without the use of recordings by Brooke Elizabeth and Ken Mann. Commercial announcers included John Barton and Taylor Leiter. Our live music was improvised tonight by Laurie Shones. And tonight's episode was directed by Adam Morrow. Tonight's cast featured Landon Edwards as George Bailey, Sarah Turner as Clara Oddbody, Joff Evans as Joseph, Dennis Nelson as Mr. Potter and Mr. Carter, Carol Halley as Mary Hatch Bailey, Dale Trimble as Pop, as Dr. Campbell, as Randall, as Martini, and Nick, Taylor Leader as Janie, John Wallace Barton as young George Bailey and as Pete, Cordelia Barton as Zuzu, Quint Bishop as Uncle Billy and Pinky, Brooke Elizabeth as Cousin Tilly, Lee Pushing as Sam and Bert, Catherine Graham as Mrs. Hatch and Mrs. Thompson, Kim Woods Graham as Mrs. Bailey, John Barton as Ernie and Ed, Ken Mann as Mr. Gower, Tom and the Bridge Keeper, Matthew Perez as Harry, Horace, and Mr. Welch. Series producer on behalf of the Crichton Players with Timothy Eggert. The Crichton Players Vintage Radio Theater was originally created as the Players Theater Company Old Time Radio Hour. Was created by Camp Abello and Dick Schistler. This episode of the Crichton Players Vintage Radio Theater was performed live in the Owen Theater in partnership with Lone Star Internet Radio in Conroe, Texas, and was done live on December 13th, 2015. It was recorded for encore broadcasts. Visit irlonestar.com every month for freshly archived programs like Quiet Please, which is now available on demand for your listening pleasure. Our program will take a break for the winter holidays, but be sure to join us when we return in February for a special Valentine's Day edition. In the meantime, be sure to listen for us every Sunday night at 7 p.m. on Lone Star Internet Radio. Again, our thanks so very much for joining us. From the glittering arts district of downtown Conroe, Texas, this is your series host, Dennis Nelson, wishing you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thank you for checking out a podcast on Lone Star Internet Radio. Lone Star Internet Radio is Montgomery County's community radio station, broadcasting from the heart of Conroe, Texas. If you are interested in sponsoring a program for Lone Star Internet Radio, just visit us online at irlonestar.com or message us on Facebook. We are always taking song requests on Twitter, and if you are interested in getting involved with the station by either hosting your own show or if you want to be a DJ, just contact Dick at irlonestar.com. Lone Star Internet Radio, Montgomery County's community radio station.
Thanks for listening to Lone Star Radio Hour here on Lone Star Community Radio. Don't forget, the Lone Star Radio Hour airs every Sunday at 7 p.m. on irlonestar.com and Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1. If you want to join and be part of the Lone Star Radio Hour with your own radio play, contact us today at lscrstudios at gmail.com. We are also looking for support for this time slot, so if you're interested in sponsoring this time slot, contact us again at lscrstudios at gmail.com. And don't forget, this radio play was brought to you by the Players Theater Company in Conroe, Texas. For more information about the Players, please check them out online at owentheater.com/players.